Ayan, mag-live na tayo mga kameta. Kamusta kayo dyan sa YouTube? Paki-subscribe to my channel. Dito, please subscribe din naman sa Facebook natin. May mga ano dyan, mga beater dyan, troll dyan na ayaw mag-subscribe sa atin. Bahala kayo sa buhay nyo. Marami yata na-suspend na rin ng mga bots at mga trolls. Kaya biglang, bakit parang kumonti yung followers ko ng konti? Pagtingin ko, baka sabi ko, baka ito yung mga bots at trolls na natatanggal. So, pasensya na lang, nahuhuli yung mga bots na andyan. Konti lang naman sila, pero still napansin natin, biglang nabawasan. Okay, ito guys, pag-usapan natin today, itong issue ng Subway, no? Yung Metro Manila Subway. Akalain nyo guys, may pag-asa tayo na magkaroon ng sarili natin Subway, underground, New York style. I'm so New York, guys. I'm so New York. Pwede na tayo mag-Subway dyan, Subway. So ito, kanina si Pangulong Marcos Jr., meron siyang announcement dito sa latest developments pagdating sa Subway ng Manila, no? Na ginagawa ng mga Hapon, no? Mga partners natin, really good partners natin. Hindi China, hindi beshi ni Tatay, but mga Hapon. So hopefully ito talagang pag Japanese, alam natin pagdating sa kalidad, even though medyo mabagal yung pagkagawa, talagang hopefully robust yung infrastructure na gagawin nila dito sa Pilipinas. So sabi ko nga, pag-usapan natin to. Bakit mahalaga to? Dahil alam natin marami mga credit grabbers dyan at marami din ayaw magbigay ng credit. Word credit is due, no? So alam natin, especially ng mga followers ng previous president, previous administration, mga katatay, mga ka-dolomite, yan, alam nyo na, di ba? Ang husay mag-credit grabbing, ang husay hindi magbigay ng credit whatsoever sa even the more preceding presidents, no, before Tatay. So kaya nga sabi ko, pag-usapan natin na mabuti niyan. Very quickly, let's go to the announcement of President Marcos about why this subway project na ginagawa natin with our Japanese partners and allies is very important. Social yan, di ba? So hopefully over the next 5 years, may mga bubukas na dyan sa BGC, hopefully sa Makati, sa Pasig, Ortigas na mga stations, and hopefully more and more parts of Metro Manila will be connected, and that will put us ahead of a lot of our neighbors na wala pang mga subway, no? So medyo I'm so New York po ang gagawin natin dito mga kameta. So titingnan natin dito. So ayon kay President Marcos, so ito, Manila. Tignan niyo naman, para naman. Ilabas naman natin dyan ang subway system. Yun, no? Talaga. Diba? Talagang sociales. Yan. So, hopefully guys, papunta na tayo dyan. Papunta pa lang tayo sa exciting part, diba? Yun ang gusto natin sana, diba? Diba? Yung mga ganyan ng ginagawa na sociales. Ayan. Sociales. Ilabas natin mga kasosyalan na kailangan natin tignan para Manila style New York. We're so New York, no? So ito po yung subway na ginagawa, no? Mahirap yan guys kasi talagang dapat climate change proof, flood proof. Maraming bagay na kailangan ayusin yan. So hopefully ito yung maging itsura nito, mga kameta. Pag medyo na kompleto na, diba? Para medyo gwapings naman ang dating. At kagandahan naman ng underground, hindi mo na kailangan tanggalin mga bahay, hindi mo kailangan i-crowd yung mga kalsada dun sa taas. It's very space efficient in the sense that it's not gonna disrupt yung above the surface kinds of infrastructure. Hindi na kailangan i-apply pa yung law of expropriation, etc. All the complications that come with building an overland, no? Or yung mga skyway style, mga old style na meron tayo ng mga LRT, MRT na gano'n, di ba? Imagine niyo guys, kung yung LRT, MRT, walang ano doon, wala sa EDSA yung LRT, MRT, di ang ganda sana, di ba? Ang ganda sana. Ayun na. Ang daming space sana for cars, no? So ito po yung hope natin na in the coming years, mga kameta, we will have a kind of a subway situation here in the Philippines. So ayon kay President Marcos Jr., we're moving in the right direction, and God willing in the coming years, will be able to reduce travel time from Quezon City to Pasay to just 35 minutes o air condition pa, walang traffic, dire-diretso lang dun sa baba. And of course, as we see more movement underground, you'll also expect decongestion overground, no? So ayon kay President Marcos, the subway and all our public transport system will be able to help and to remedy the quality of life issue dito sa Pilipinas, sa Metro Manila. Ayon kay President Marcos, the MMSP is expected to carry, ito yung Metro Manila, yung subway, no, project, more than 500,000 passengers from Valenzuela to Parañaque, with millions of job opportunities also up for grabs. So mahal to, no? $1 billion project ito. But the kind of improvements it will bring to our daily lives, the efficiencies that it will bring. Kasi alam natin, guys, yung traffic, no, is costing the Philippines a lot of money, no? So JICA, yung Japanese International Development Agencies, meron silang mga studies na pinapakita talaga na we're losing billions of pesos every day because of mga inefficiencies that traffic creates, no? So President Marcos thanked Japan for its support for MMSP. At sabi niya, the world recognizes Japan for having a very efficient rail transport system, which the Philippines aspires to also have and emulate soon, hopefully, no? So sanabi niya sa JICA, ito yung International Development Authority ng Japan. Sabi ni President Marcos, very very thankful naman siya sa kanila. Now just to have an idea what we're looking at here, medyo, diba, iba eh. So all the major areas in Metro Manila, hopefully makaka-connect natin dito sa magandang gawain na yan, no? Ng subway project na yan. Let me just bring out the map. Manila Subway project para makita niyo naman, diba, na hindi ito basta-basta, no? Hindi ito basta-basta. So obviously, no, there'll be multiple terminals, no? There'll be multiple terminals dito connecting different places. Talagang maging mas modern ang Metro Manila, no? Hopefully later on the subway could be connected dun sa mga trains na i-connect naman sana tayo sa mga airports na gagawin yung isa sana sa Sangli at yung isa naman sana gagawin sa papunta sa Clark, in terms of yung connecting sana yung Clark from one side, from the north, and then yung Sangli from the south, hopefully, para ma-decongest talaga ang Metro Manila dito. So talagang makikita natin, mga kameta, very very comprehensive itong plan na ginagawa nila for Metro Manila Subway project. Of course, matagal yan. It's a decade-long work at maraming delays. Nakita natin sa Vietnam, for instance, there was also a lot of delay. In the case of Vietnam, Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi, each of them went for different developer. One went for Japan, went for China. Yung China yata sobrang delayed. If I'm not mistaken, the Saigon one went for Japan, no? So mas masaya yung mga tao yata sa Saigon kumpara sa mga tao sa Hanoi, no? So here in the Philippines, thankfully, of course, we chose world standard, and then that's really Japan. I think in terms of yung train, high-speed train, overland, I think China is really a global leader. Wala tayong masabi dyan. In fairness, I'll give credit to Japan, but to China. But of course, Japan was also the first there when it comes to really bullet trains, etc. Of course, some of us may have, experienced the bullet train. Ako, when I went from Tokyo to Hiroshima, I stayed in Japan for a while before, for many reasons. So nakita natin ang sarap talaga may high-speed railway, and of course yung mga nakatira especially sa Shinjuku district sa Tokyo, di ba? Grabe doon pag tinignan mo yung subway system nila, grabe, parang nervous system ng tao, no? Sobrang complicated, no? So hopefully the Philippines will slowly move in that direction because Japan is a world leader. But as I said, when it comes to overland, really China's bullet trains are also now among the best in the world, and China's built more railway like high-speed railway than I think all of the world combined, no, in the past decade or so. So hopefully we can get more and more help on both these fronts, and nakita natin, guys, na we're looking at many parts of Manila getting connected to each other. Okay, now this is interesting, and again, I'm wishing the best for whoever is in charge, because at the end of the day, this is para sa Pilipinas yan. This is for the benefit of our country, and this for the benefit of us, di ba? Para naman yung buhay natin, di ba, mag-improve naman dito sa Manila. Napaka-stressful talaga ito yung constant traffic, it affects your quality of life, your efficiencies. Kaya nga yung iba sa atin, pag nasa abroad tayo sa mga bansa na walang traffic, parang biglang hindi ka sanay. Parang masyadong maaga ka dumating sa work, hindi mo na alam gagawin mo. You know what I'm saying? Masyadong maaga ka nakauwi sa bahay kasi you're not wasting time in traffic. And then, you don't need to be on your cell phone, etc. all the time because you're not in traffic anymore, no? So you can live your life in a completely different way. Imagine the hours of your life that are wasted in traffic and all, no? So, nakita natin in different studies, for instance, Metro Manila had the worst traffic in the world, no? So, we're looking at not only bad situation, but one of the worst situation in the world. So, over the years, nakita natin, iba-iba eh. Nakita natin, Manila, second worst traffic in the world based on one report. Yung isa naman, medyo mas mataas naman tayo ng konti. But the situation really is difficult for the Philippines, no? In fact, I think one reason Metro Manila keeps on voting against seemingly establishment candidates from Duterte in 2016 to Marcos, a lot of that is also frustration about traffic and living conditions in the city. So so report Metro Manila second worst in the world pagdating sa traffic congestion. We have other reports that put it in top 20 worst, so 8th worst congested dun sa traffic congestion index report na. Yung isa naman, 8th most traffic congested city in the world. This is 2022. So yung latest nakita natin is 2022, right? 8th worst naman. So medyo may laban naman tayo guys. Medyo may laban tayo. So from worst to second worst, top 20 worst, 8th worst. So medyo may mga top 10. If you average it all rankings natin, medyo top 10 tayo. I don't think it's really the worst in the world kasi if you've been to some other places, I'm not gonna name names, but you can guess. In fact even Jakarta, sorry, I think it's slightly worse than Philippines. So ito yung latest nakita natin in 2022, just the other month, Manila 8th most traffic congested in the world, no? So we see a lot of these reports that are showing we're wasting so much money, we're really suffering in terms of our quality of life dahil dito sa traffic. So I really welcome this. Ang hindi ko ma-welcome guys, etong credit grabbing culture natin kung saan each administration wants to claim na sila lang may pakanan, sila lang may ambag, no? Yan ang talagang ayaw natin. And that's why I think we have to get the facts straight when we talk about the subway project, etc. Now, this is not a one administration effort. This is at least a 3 administration effort. So again, I'll do credit to President Duterte for doing his part, or at least his administration doing its part. But let's not forget that the foundations of the subway project actually, right, predate both Marcos and Duterte. Let's get the facts very clear here, guys. All right, I'm not doing this because I want to defend one side particular, but we have to get the facts very clear because yung NEDA, no, yung key agencies of the government, including the Office of the Presidency, of not Marcos and not Duterte, but another president was actually behind, no, itong subway project na yan. So I'm just gonna show to you guys bakit mahalaga itong sinasabi natin dito. Kasi nakakainis yung style na credit grabbing na ginagawa nila. Ito, pakita natin. Ito talagang may resibo tayo sa lahat. Diba? Database tayo dito, hindi tayo pong chismis at kalokohan. Katotohanan, data ang tinitingnan natin, diba? Verified facts. So kung titignan mo guys, 2014-15 pa lang, we were moving in the right direction, setting the foundation for that. So 2014 pa lang, President Aquino vowed for better study in Metro Manila Subway project. So you need a feasibility study. Alam nga naman, talon ka agad nang gagawa ka ng $1 billion project, hindi naman basta-basta yan. So the feasibility study, all of the basic things, the foundations had to be built first before we even begin the project or sign the fine paper, So the basics were actually done under President Aquino, not Duterte, but President Aquino. Let us get that very, very clear, okay? Kasi ayoko talagang credit grabber style, tapos binabastos pa yung dating mga admin na may ginawa naman in fairness. Ako, hindi ko naman sinabi walang kasalanan or kakulangan yung mga dating administration, but you have to also give credit where credit is due. The same way that we should give credit to President Duterte for doing his part, and hopefully President Marcos also bringing this to the finishing line, no? So if you look at another report again, yung government studies the possibility of Mega Manila Subway again, this is 2015 and this is from the official gazette, no, of the Philippines. So 2015 pa lang mga kameta. 2015 pa lang, right? 2015 pa lang. Nakikita na natin na all the foundations for the subway projects were being laid. And this is by the AQUINO administration. And this is when ang in charge of NEDA, because NEDA has to approve it, no? The National Economic Development Authority has to approve it. This is when Secretary Balisacan was a NEDA secretary of not Bongbong, but NEDA secretary of Benigno Aquino, no? So let's get those facts very clear kasi nakakairata talaga itong mga binabastos yung mga dating admin kung may ginawa naman talaga sila or hindi binibigay ng credit or nagki-credit grabbing style. That's really really annoying. So again so let me show this. Makikita niyo talaga. The dates are very clear. Dates are very clear. You have to look at the dates. 2014, 2015 pa lang, all the foundations of the subway projects were being laid by the Aquino administration. No? Ayan na naman tayo eh. You know, we have to be fair. So, ito. And of course, when Balisacan was our former NEDA secretary. Again, look at the date here. This is 2015, January. Philippines First Subway gets okay from NEDA. So, ito, panahon pa lang ni Aquino, NEDA and the relevant government agencies were making sure na yung pundasyon na itong subway project, you know, the feasibility, technicalities, funding, all of that is taken care of. Di ba? Yan talaga yung nakakainis kasi yung mga credit grabber styles talaga na bigyan niya naman ng credit or binabastos yung tao, di ba? So again, you look at it, all of this has been happening panon pa ni Aquino. Alright? Not Tatay Digong, Aquino, 2015, 2014, 2015. If you research, if you do your part, you'll see that in fairness naman maraming ginawa ng dating admin din. But let me put this even in a bigger context. Because we could not have funded these projects. Hindi naman libre yan, guys. Hindi naman libre yan. Binabayaran yan. But we wouldn't have been in a position to even negotiate billion-dollar projects or big projects like this if hindi rin natin inayos yung ating fiscal stability. If hindi natin inayos yung kakayahan na ating gobyerno para magbayad. So, this is another thing I want to emphasize. In 2015, no, President Aquino signed a 3 trillion pesos national budget, no? Now, that 3 trillion pesos may seem impressive, but it's even more impressive when you put it into context. Because when President Aquino took over in 2010, the budget was barely half of that. So back in 2010, the budget of the Philippine government was 1.6 trillion pesos. By 2015, 5 years later, it was 3 trillion pesos. So, dumoble, no? Halos dumoble yung budget natin. So, because of the savings, because of the rapid economic growth, because of the efforts to deal with corruption and bring good governance. Again, hindi naman perfecto, marami ring kakulangan ng lahat ng mga dating administration, kaya nga third world pa rin tayo. Okay, wag tayo wag tayo mag-denial. Maraming kakulangan lahat ng mga administrations natin. Pero in fairness naman, sa panahon ni Aquino, dahil sa economic growth, dahil sa savings, dahil sa efforts to deal with corruption, although not as effective on the corruption front, but at least in terms of macroeconomic stability, in terms of economic growth, in terms of credit rating, ang dami ng pera pagdating ni tatay. No? So, yun ang hindi nire-recognize ng mga ibang trolls at mga ignoramos dyan. Because they credit a certain administration for getting things done, but they don't ask where did the money come from, or they don't ask anong in-inherit niya. And problema ngayon, si BBM pagpasok niya, ang laki ng utang ng Pilipinas. So that's gonna circumscribe his abilities to push for certain projects because yun yung na-inherit niya from the previous administration. Pagdating kay Tatay Digong, ang laki ng budget na na-inherit niya from Aquino. So kaya nga he was in a position to push for massive infrastructure spending. Particular, of course, in the case of Department of Budget Secretary Jokno, diba? During that time. So again, we want all of these infrastructure projects we're hoping to enjoy or we're beginning to enjoy, no? The foundations of that, a lot of that was established, during the Aquino administration, and we could have and we were able to fund them or push for these joint projects with partners, etc., because our economy was doing well 10 years ago, because we were saving a lot of money back in the day, and I think that's where not only does the Aquino administration deserve credit, for laying down the foundation dun sa subway project, but they also deserve credit for saving enough money and creating enough economic growth so that Duterte, Marcos, and the next administrations will be in a position to spend, will be in a position to invest in infrastructure, will be in a position to improve living standards for the Filipino people. Again, I'm not saying things were perfect back in the day. Maraming kakulangan, sure. But yung style na babastusin mo na yung mga dating admin, and then i-credit grab mo lahat, and then you totally erase them, no? Yung erasure na ginagawa dun sa mga lahat ng mga magandang ginagawa ng mga dating admin, that's wrong. That's wrong. And more than wrong, it's just ignoramos, no? So yun ang point ko, di ba? So in fairness, it was in 2014, 2015, NEDA, the AQUINO admin, a lot of them were laying down the foundation for a strong economy, for high infrastructure spending. So even if nagkakulang ang AQUINO administration, at least they save a lot of money, they generated enough economic growth para yung mga susunod na administration will be in a position to be able to invest in our infrastructure, in our economy, in our country. Yun po yung sinasabi natin, guys. Yun po yung sinasabi natin. So, everything has to be put into proper context. Not just pa-context lang just to create an excuse for kapalpakan, but proper context when you're looking at the data, like at the numbers. So, 2014, 2015 pa lang, the foundation of the subway projects were being built. So, that's why I'm saying there has to be due credit also given. Of course, in fairness to Tatay Digong, ang dami niyang pera na inherit. So good for him that he could spend, and he spent some of that on the infrastructure. Great. But you have to give credit also to the previous administration, no? Which laid down the foundations for that. And my best wishes, of course, for the current administration to get it done. So na lahat naman tayo mag-benefit dito at huwag tayo mag-bitter right and left. Yun lang naman sinasabi natin, mga kameta. Alright? Now, I want to talk about more kay parang Tulfo, etc. I want to talk about more also China, sana, and Japan, and compare those two. Because actually, Japan is our number one source of a lot of high-quality investments. It's not China. And in fact, based on some data, Taiwan has more investments in the Philippines than China. Ito yung data ng PEZA, no? Yung Philippine Economics, yung mga authorities in charge, no? So, mahabang usapan yan. Balikan ko na lang yan next time. But ang dami kasi mga ignoramos dyan at mga fake news dyan at mga fake claims dyan. So, we have to get the facts right, no? And kudos to Japan for helping us to move in the right direction. And kudos to AQUINO administration, to Tatay Digong, and also to the current president for pushing us in the right direction. Dapat ganon ang approach natin, mga kameta. Hindi mo babastusin mo isa, tapos credit grabbing dun sa isa. Ayan, mahirap yung ganon. Alright, let me thank everyone for joining us, mga kameta. I really appreciate this effort. I hope hindi kayo masyado nagagalit sa akin. Yun lang, diba? Data, guys. Data lang. Alright? Gusto niya yung data. Ito yung iniwan ni tatay naman kay Marcos. Diba? Ayan. Bahala na si Marcos. Bahala na si Batman. Diba? Ayan. Almost 13 trillion pesos yung utang na iniwan. So, ayan tayo eh. Ayan. So, talagang medyo mahirapan na administration ngayon kasi ang daming utang ng Pilipinas. So that will limit some of the options we have in terms of infrastructure spending on. So yun nga eh, madali naman gumastos kung yung pera na inherit mo sa dating administration na responsable. Ang tanong, pag walang masyadong pera, gaano ka-efficient in terms of making the proper investments? Yun lang naman sinasabi natin. So, kaya nga dapat ngayon very smart tayo in terms of spending, investments, and negotiating projects with China, Japan, and other countries because eto, ang laki ng utang na naiwan niya eh. Alam nyo na. Galing, no? Galing. 13.5 trillion pesos na ngayon ang utang natin. Wow. Okay. Anyway, good luck pa rin sa atin. In fairness naman, some things were done. Alright? So, hopefully we can move in the right direction. Okay, yan. So, good luck na lang sa atin. The best president. The best president. Best president. President best. Ayoko na magsalita, baka may sasabihin na ako. Wag na. Okay. Ito as a reminder, 2014-15 pa lang, inaayos ng NEDA at AQUINO administration yung subway project. Alright, let's get the facts clear. Alright? Huwag tayo mag-credit grabber club na naman dyan. Alright? Yan tayo eh. At saka, credit din dun sa isang admin na nag-save ng maraming pera at nag-generate ng economic growth, para may panggastos si tatay, diba? Yun lang naman eh. Pero kudos din kay Tatay Digong, in fairness, and the Duterte administration for also doing its in part. And as far as the infrastructure development is concerned, especially in the rural areas, although ang dami pa rin delay, dami kakulangan. But yun ang point ko. Look at the data, research, mag-isip, hindi lang dada ng dada, okay? And then, magsalita ka kung sino magaling at hindi. Alright? Ganun lang naman eh. That's how we do it. Alright, let me thank yung ating mga kababayan, mga kameta on YouTube, on Facebook for following us. Yun lang naman try natin dito eh. Ako, I'm sure babalikan na naman natin itong topic natin as we get more updates on this. But I really felt we have to be fair to President Aquino. Again, he didn't get many things right, but he also got a lot of things right. And I think accordingly, we have to show respect and we have to show appreciation. So as always, thank you so much kay Ma'am Jocelyn Lumberio for being so kind and supportive. Also kay Magnolia Zoleta. Thank you so much also. Yes, we're doing our best to deal not only with fake news but credit-grabbing clubs. No? Riz Ani, ayan, dami na nag-support sa atin as usual. Thank you so much for your stars, for your stickers, for your support. We really, really appreciate it. And again, let me end on this note. Thank you to President Aquino. Thank you to President Duterte. Thank you to the Filipino people, and best wishes to President Marcos to get the subway project done, get it through as soon as possible, and also for the Philippines to win, Philippines to move in the right direction para lahat tayo masaya. Alright? Huwag tayong bitter-bitter, huwag tayong credit grabber, huwag tayo fake news. Alright? Yun lang naman sinasabi natin like. Alright? Thank you very much. God bless. Talk to you soon.